All right, welcome to the third video. Let's talk about policy options. Okay, how do you solve the problem? So far, by this video, you identified three problems or issues that you wanted to focus on. You've completed some research, trying to find some background data, try and find some, journals or news articles that say this is some issue, here's some data to back it up. Now let's talk about how we solve it. The main way is to brainstorm. Okay, so think of and research, if possible, every single possible solution to the problem. Don't restrict yourself at this point. Okay, sometimes the best solutions are those that we may not have considered yet or may seem a little bit too crazy. So think crazy or maybe practical or realistic or out of the world. I mean, really any potential solution to the issue. Don't restrict yourself at this point. Okay, and yes, we are talking about even the really ridiculous policy options here. Okay, the reason is we want to have a full fleshed out list of ways that we could solve this problem, more or less, whatever problem you're choosing to focus on. Then you're going to want to take those different solutions, take those different options, and evaluate them based on certain criteria. So one criteria could be financial, or maybe just even plain cost-benefit analysis. If we enact this policy, if we make this decision or choice to change something, what are the benefits? What are the costs? What are those trade-offs? Do they outweigh each other? Are there more benefits than there are costs? And that could be, social costs, could be financial costs, etc. You should probably consider legality somewhere in the middle of that, unless if you're changing laws, then that's not really an issue. I think a main consideration, don't totally restrict yourself on this one, is political acceptability. You should think about whether this policy is politically acceptable. And obviously that'll draw down sometimes party lines, but don't restrict yourself too far in political acceptability, because Roosevelt does push the boundaries. We do look to progress forward into new areas that we've never touched before. And most importantly, I would say, is what's called robustness or probability of success. So if we take some system, we say, this is not working right now, here's a new change, here's a new policy, let's intervene, let's introduce this new policy change. What's going to happen? Is it going to be successful? Because it's a really, really poor use of resources to implement policy that doesn't have a probability of success, all right? And then try and decide. Say, okay, I have, say, 8 to 10 ideas of ways to solve this problem. I went out and researched and found some other states that may have done some stuff. And then you narrow it down, you say, maybe these are some top 3 choices based on the criteria we introduced before. What is the realistic success of your policy? Let's ignore political acceptability at the moment. If this policy change was introduced, is it going to be effective? And in bold, if this is your favorite choice and it's such a great idea, why hasn't it been done yet? Because guaranteed, even though we are all brilliant individuals, lots of people have been thinking about the issues that we decide to focus on. So if it is such a great idea, why hasn't it been done yet? And you should perhaps research or investigate as to why, or maybe there's some political factors at play that prevent it. Nonetheless, make sure you can answer that question. So I'm going to take a little bit of time and explain what you need to do before the next video. Come up with a decent list of potential policy solutions to your issue, okay? And it should read policy solutions to your issue or problem, not to your policy. What we want to make sure is that you have enough ideas and enough access points to say, here are some different alternates that I've considered, things that perhaps other states have done. So when you brainstorm, think of creative ideas to solve this, but also do a Google search, see what Utah's doing, see what California's doing, or if it's a national policy, see what other countries are doing. Or maybe even if it's a local policy, see what other countries are doing. Look around for other ways to solve this problem. Look, there are like 195 sovereign states in the world. Seriously, they all have different ways to solve the same issues that we're experiencing here. So look around, see what we can find on the internet about what other people have tried before, and also consider those policy solutions. Make sure that those are a part of your list. And then weigh the outcomes and weight outcomes and decide on your favorite solutions. Okay, you don't have to have a for sure by the time the workshop comes around, a for sure this is the policy I want to implement, but you should have enough consideration to say this is a policy solution that I'm leaning towards and here's why. That's the main point of this exercise.